Hi there. I can't tell you how excited I am that you've chosen to learn about Power BI because, frankly, it's a flipping fantastic tool. And I can say that because learning how to use it has completely changed my working life. So, let's start at the very beginning, which, after all, is a very good place to start. What is Power BI? Well, Power BI is Microsoft's reporting software. And brilliant, what does that mean? Well, Power BI connects to hundreds, thousands, and millions of rows of data and summarizes the information into easy-to-use graphs so you can quickly get great insights into the stories that the data has to tell. That big data term you hear of all over the show, that's what Power BI deals with. A single row of data won't tell us that much. It won't tell us what products are trending, which marketing projects are returning a great ROI, which footballer made the most passes last season, or the effect of climate change on rising sea levels. A single row, though, is at least easy to read and understand, but put that single row with hundreds, thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, and even billions of rows of other data. Suddenly, that lot of rows together can tell us an awful lot, but who's got the time to go through it and derive any meaning from it? Millions of rows of data is not easy to read. Hundreds of rows of data isn't easy to read and collate, and even using a tool that you likely know, probably Excel, because, for example, Excel gets slow well before it gets to its million or so row limit, and analyzing anything beyond its page limit makes for some really unwieldy analysis. So, enter stage right, Power BI. Power BI reads through the millions of rows of data and allows you to convert that data into easy-to-read graphs and charts so that you can get the insights, and then even better, it's easy to pass on that information to senior management. The thing is, though, the Power BI is not just a pretty version of Excel. It's got fantastic automation features, which is a major step towards automatically refreshing and reducing errors in reports. It's got security features, allowing you to restrict access to different parts of reports to different groups of staff. And because it's pretty cheap, in fact, it's free if you don't use Power BI Pro, it's a world-leading reporting tool. Let's take more of a look, though, at how Power BI does what it does. Let's understand first this millions of rows of data piece. First of all, Power BI connects to data that looks like this. Here we have 3 snippets of datasets of varying complexity and dirtiness. We've got a simple list of dates on the left-hand side. We've then got a supplier listing, which needs splitting out into different columns, and then an extract from a list of purchase orders. Okay. Now, you can't see much on the screen, but some of these reports go on for hundreds of thousands of rows of data. Power BI uses this data to create some graphs, which we're about to see over on the right-hand side. There we go. So Power BI takes these datasets and turns them into these charts. Here we have a simple pie chart showing the total value of some purchase orders split by different suppliers. To make this pie chart, Power BI simply searched through the PO table on the left-hand side and then added together, also called aggregating or summarizing or totaling, all the values in the PO line item cost column. This created the pie chart. To create the segments of the pie chart, Power BI just totaled all the values in the PO line item cost column, but then divided the total value according to the supplier numbers in the vendor column of the PO table. And that's it. That's what Power BI does. It summarizes, totals, aggregates, whichever word you like, a value column, and then creates a chart from it. It then divides that value, that total value, by different categories, different values in other columns in the same table. That's it. That's all it does. Now, don't get me wrong, it does some snazzy stuff too, like automating connections, remembering transformations, joining tables together, and quite a few more bits. But fundamentally, it just takes tables of data and summarizes the totals of them. Keep this in mind as the main Power BI principle, and you won't go too far wrong. You can then put a load of these Power BI charts together to create a report, like we have a column chart underneath, and you can then post that report online for anyone to see. So let's then go on the Power BI journey. First of all, Power BI needs to connect to some data. This data can be held in any number of different databases, from a simple CSV file on a hard drive, through a folder of files on a SharePoint website, or an inbox on Microsoft Exchange. This connection method is known as import, where we're bringing information into our PBIX file, into our Power BI file. Power BI can also connect via a method called Direct Query to a complex database like Analytical Services or Oracle or Salesforce. Now, it doesn't matter where your data is, Power BI can generally connect to it. The last time I looked, Power BI had over 1,000 different connectors. And if you still can't find the one you want, and when you get really good at Power BI, you can start creating your own connectors. Once you've connected to your dataset, you then combine and aggregate your data in a combined dataset. You can join all these datasets together using a couple of different methods, including merging, appending, and relationships, and the full course goes over each of these methods. This means that you then have a number of datasets that together act like one big dataset. Can you imagine how excited I was as someone who spent 95% of his working day in Excel, melding various Excel sheets together before I got to the fun part of the analysis, when I found out that Power BI could actually automate all of that connection and cleaning for me? Very excited was the answer. Now, once you combined your dataset into one great big dataset, also called a semantic model, you then create charts from your datasets or semantic models by adding together or summarizing the values in your dataset. You can then put lots of charts in a report and then post the reports online so lots of people can see it. That, in a nutshell, is the Power BI journey. Now, as you might have gathered, I love Power BI. So let's get the old pen out and write a few reasons why. So, I love Power BI because, first of all, it's intuitive to use, particularly if you're already used to Microsoft products like Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and so on. It automates data transformation tasks, allowing me to create reports from multiple datasets really, really easily. Once I create a report, I never have to create it again. I just need to change the supporting datasets, and that saves me so much time every month. It allows us to get insights that we wouldn't be able to achieve with Excel alone, mainly because it doesn't have a row limit. It creates reports that users are interested in and can easily use. I have genuinely had the feedback when I'm doing budget reporting with departments or cost centers that they go, "This is almost fun." Now, with Power BI Pro, I can share reports or parts of reports with anyone, anywhere, at any time. It's not just analytical reports. I can create journals, reconciliations, and written reports really easily. Pretty much anything that I need to do repetitively in my role, I can do with Power BI.